Who's how, Rams how, you know who we rollin' Golden Rams Buzz Podcast. Hit like, share and link. Who's how, Rams how, you know who we rollin' Golden Rams Buzz Podcast. Home of the champions. Who's how, Rams how, you know who we rollin' Golden Rams Buzz Podcast. Hit like, share and link. Who's how, Rams how, you know who we rollin' Golden Rams Buzz Podcast. Home of the champions. When I need a scoop on the league, I hit up the dream team, Golden Rams Buzz Podcast.
Welcome to episode 2 of the Golden Ram Buzz Podcast with Chris, Damon, and Sal. Victory Tuesday, boys.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
The Rams pulled off a victory in Seattle that nobody called. Probably only us. Did you doubt the Rams winning that game?
I did doubt the Rams. I got to say, Sal, man, I got to give it to you, man. You called it. You said Puka Nacua and Tuta will have good games, and they combined for 16 receptions and 238 yards. What did you see? What did you see in those two guys that I clearly didn't see it?
Well, you know, I attended a lot of the Rams practices, and I could see the way Puka was working. There was just the flow between he and Stafford was really good. And he was really involved in the Rams offense, so I knew that he was going to be able to carry the team, and he was able to do that. And then Tutu Atwell, you know, you see him go deep, and I mean, he's such a dangerous receiver. And I knew that eventually, with his speed, that he would be able to get open and make a difference in that game. So. Yeah, it was kind of cool that their combined, receptions and yardage really carried the Rams offense. So it was great. Yeah.
Those two players combined for 16 receptions, 238 yards. Mm-hmm. I think Puka set a rookie record or something like that.
He did.
Their most ever
for a rookie.
But Tutu Atwell been playing Casper the Friendly Ghost the last couple of years. All of a sudden, he made an appearance. Deep cuts, catches across the middle. Yeah. And then he could have got more. A couple of passes Matthew Stafford overthrew him, but Tutu Atwell showed up. Mm-hmm. Everybody said trade him. Everybody wanted to get rid of him.
That's what I said. That's why I said I'm glad that the Rams were patient with him, because everybody kept comparing him to Tavon Austin. You know, They would never let that comparison go. But I mean, Tutu Atwell, he is definitely a threat. But the Rams just have to utilize him in the right way. I think when he's in open space, he's unstoppable. But you can't really use him on jet sweeps and stuff like that. He's not that big. So.
And once again, Sal, I got to say, you're the man. You're the man. You said Gino would be the old Gino. He only threw for 112 yards.
Yeah, he regressed, right? Yeah,
held the Seahawks to under 200 yards total offense. I mean, what did you see in the Rams defense that, like I said, I didn't see it. I couldn't see it.
Like I said, in training camp, you get to see the Rams are different. And I think a lot of times people, just because there's a lot of new young players, a lot of Ram fans and the critics and the media said that, their expectations are going to be really low. But the Rams still have the same expectations as they did with veteran players. So, when you have Ernest Jones and players like that on defense, they expect these guys to develop and be pretty competitive. And you saw that game against Seattle as the defense in the third and fourth quarter. Oh, yeah. You started seeing they started getting like a little swag. And this is only after the first game. Right. So, yeah. And what was funny was, when you saw DK Metcalf, he was getting kind of frustrated.
He was.
Right? I mean, the Rams were shutting him down, and these are the young
I think
defenders.
Tyler Lockett only had 2 receptions for 17 yards.
Yeah. And plus he got hurt. You remember he was taken out of the game. Yeah. So I think that, the Rams are showing that they're going to compete in the NFC West.
I agree.
You see Matthew Stafford left with a clean jersey. He didn't get sacked one time.
Right. Mm-hmm.
No turnovers, no sacks. And I recall a week before that when Jared Goff beat the Chiefs. We want Jared Goff back, this and that.
Exactly.
Come on, some Rams fans are so fickle, man.
True.
Like, come on.
Well, that's why, because you saw it after the post game, the locker room, breakdown when Coach was talking to Stafford. When Stafford said, "You know what? Don't worry about what the outside world says. We know what we're doing." Mm-hmm. And so I think the Rams understand that, but. When the Rams picked up Mike LaFleur as the new offensive coordinator, he was going to build the Rams. He was going to make the Rams more physical. He wanted bigger offensive line, and that's why they went after Steve Avila. But you see that the Rams, they look different. They added like about 20, 25 pounds across the offensive line. So you're going to be able to keep, Matthew Stafford protected, and he's going to be able to do his thing.
What do you guys think about the two running back situation with Kyren Williams and Cam Akers? How do you think that's going to play out for this season?
I think it keeps them both fresh.
Okay.
If you notice the goal line situation they ran with Kyrie Williams, and you know why, right? Because Cam Akers has a fumbling problem by the goal line, and Kyrie Williams is a better ball possession
Right.
receiver, running back, and he's a great blocker.
Right, I
He
agree.
picks
with
up the
that.
block, picks up the blitzes. So they're both going to be fresh. We'll see.
What do you
happens.
think, Sal? What's up to it?
I hope they utilize both, but I like Cam Akers, but there is a big difference with Williams. You know, he hits a hole. He's a lot more elusive too,
Right.
and you know, I think that the Rams like his style a little bit more closer to the goal line. I like Cam Akers, but you know, he's going to have to share the load. The Rams,
Yeah.
you can't depend on one running back anymore, and I don't
That's
think the
so
Rams
true.
are going to do that anymore. I think they're going to, running back by committee. So
Yeah.
I think they'll be fine.
You know what's funny watching that game? I had a call from a Niner fan. As a matter of fact, we got a Niner fan right
What?
here. Show the camera right
there he
here.
is.
That guy right there with the Sam, with the
Okay,
black on. He
all right.
called me during the game and said, "I bet you $25 the Rams are gonna lose to Seattle." I said, "Don't
During
do
the
that."
game?
During the game, when I said, "Come on, boy!" And as you can see, he's here to pay me my money. First quarter, it don't matter. It don't matter, but we know how it
Yeah,
ended, and
yeah.
I don't know why a Niner fan would all up in our business for. They should worry about their own game, but that's just me. As a matter of fact, we have a Niner guest coming in later today. I'm gonna interview one of my good friends, Jim. Known him for 30 years, Niner fanatic. We've been in each other's. I was at his groomsman in his wedding. We've been in 2 other people's weddings together. So there's going to be a heated debate for this one for the guests. But let's go through
I
this.
like that.
It's going to be
competition.
must see TV. Let's talk before we elaborate on that. Let's talk about the scores, the games this past week. Obviously, we saw Detroit upset KC, which was a shocker to everybody.
Yeah.
I didn't see that happening. Did you guys?
I know Detroit was going to be competitive. Like our boy Mike, he texted me like, Detroit look good. I said, well, they look good, but Chris Jones didn't play, and Kadarius Toney gift wrapped one touchdown, and then he dropped that pass. But Detroit's looking good. I like them. That division's going to be tough with Green Bay, but I like Josh Reynolds, ex-Ram,
Yeah.
Jared Goff. So some Ram blood over there, and Brad Holmes is their GM. So.
Dallas Cowboys won 40-0. They looked dominant against the Giants. The defense, everything was clicking from the first play of the game. The block, field
Yeah,
goal.
they got a lot of
Picked
talent, the Cowboys.
yeah.
There's the NFC is going to be. I think there's going to be. I think Atlanta will be kind of.
Atlanta won.
Atlanta will be tough too.
New Orleans.
And now the Monday night game, obviously, Aaron Rodgers and the Buffalo Bills. Aaron Rodgers played 4 plays for the Jets, and down for the year. His Achilles, like you see the energy of the crowd, like when he came out. Obviously,
Deflated.
911. The victims of 911. My condolences to the victims, of course, of 9/11.
Definitely.
He came out with the flag, which was energy. The stadium was MetLife Stadium was on a high, and then 4 plays, Sal and Chris. His
Now they're
season's over.
comparing Zach Wilson take over Aaron Rodgers to when Kurt Warner took over Trey Green. Do you see any similarities to that, or what's your take on that?
No, I don't see. I just think the Jets were kind of built around Aaron Rodgers.
Okay.
And then when you lose a veteran player like that, for any young player to step up that's not really proven, it'll be tough. I think as the season plays on, he's going to have problems.
Okay.
Um,
Do
but
you still see the Jets making the playoffs?
No, I
Really?
really don't. No, I don't think they'll make the
Wow.
playoffs.
I don't either. I don't
Okay.
either.
I think they'll probably have about 8 wins.
Wow.
Yeah.
Okay.
The Cleveland Browns upset the.
Yeah, they held Cleveland Browns held Joe
Yeah,
Burrow
yeah.
to 82 passing yards, and T Higgins. Thank you,
Yeah.
T Higgins, because you're on my fantasy team.
Yeah.
Don't at home, no catches. What would you think about? That's a rivalry game. So
It is.
He called
but-
them elves. Didn't he say they're elves?
Yeah.
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 It was interesting to watch. But I think that Cleveland is improved, but I don't think they're that much improved. But Watson, I was always a fan of his.
Right.
So I think maybe if he can kind of get back into the way he was playing when he was early in his career in the NFL, I think he'll be.
Are we going to talk about the Niners destroying Steelers, or?
Well, no, let's talk about the wait for that.
Okay.
Let's talk about the Chargers and the Dolphins.
We called it. Did we call it?
That was a shootout.
Shootout.
The Chargers do Charger
Yeah.
things.
Yeah.
I mean,
But J.C. Jackson, the pass interference with 3 seconds left in the second, and give wrapped on that field goal.
and how many points they lose by?
They lost by 2, and
Yeah, 2 or 3.
yeah. Okay.
Chargers, Brandon Staley do Charger stuff. That's what they're a talented team.
And I want to say this: let's give Tyreek Hill his flowers. I know the guys have some, past issues, but that guy is one of the best receivers, me personally, I've ever seen. So I just want to say, Tyreek Hill, you get flowers from me, brother.
Yeah, that was amazing, that play when the game was on the line, when they needed him most. Stepped
Exactly.
Up. The Chargers knew it was coming. I don't
Right,
understand.
exactly.
That's how you lose games. But I think for Brandon Staley, when the Rams picked him up, he was he was a linebacker coach. The Rams promoted him to a defensive coordinator,
Right.
and then he went from defensive coordinator to head coach. So he made
What
two
is it?
major
He worked under,
jumps.
Vic Fangio in Denver?
Yeah, he did.
that's
He
right.
did. But imagine in 2 years. I mean, 2-3 years going from linebacker coach to defensive coordinator to head coach. So I think he's in kind of over his head. I think offensively, some of the things he does, he puts them in tough situations. Like, I like coaches that are aggressive, but you got to be smart too.
I agree.
One game, they went for it 4 times on 4th down, and I mean,
And
you
lost
could
the
have
game.
had you could have had at least 12 points from field goals, and it would have won the game.
And then
So I think it's nice to be aggressive, but you also have to play smart. You have to play the odds.
what do you think about Derek Carr and his new team, the Saints?
Raiders, you guys squeaked out a victory.
Yeah.
That's
I was
Jimmy-
happy for Carr. I
Yeah,
was happy
Carr
for
Saints.
Carr.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Raiders won. Who they beat?
But I just think the best part about all this.
Oh
is
yeah,
that,
Derek Carr Saints.
Yeah, Derek Carr. Yeah. But I think the best part is that the Rams are the best team at SoFi. So the Chargers are still second best.
I definitely agree with that.
Yeah, the Chargers. I think that Staley, he won't last that long if you.
Yeah, I read.
You got to make these. You got to win these games. They have way too much talent.
I read online that fans are already calling for his head. So
Yeah, he's already
we
on
shall
the
see
hot
if
seat.
Yeah, we should
Yeah.
see if he'll make this make it through the season.
Now, guys, the Rams take on the big bully this week.
Aye.
The Niners have beat us 8 times in a row.
Aye.
Hold on now.
Okay.
8 times in the regular season. The NFC Championship game. How did that turn out? See, what had happened was.
Okay.
So, before we get Jim on, what do you guys think about this
You going
game?
to do our predictions right now for that game?
Yeah.
Okay. You want
Predictions.
to go first, Sal? What do you think?
So I think the Rams are going to come out. They're going to establish the run. It'll be a slugfest. The Rams aren't going to, but the Rams, they're ready for this matchup. They're built for this type of team. The 49ers are tough, no doubt about it. Philadelphia Eagles and 49ers have been the best team in the NFC for the past couple of years. But that window of opportunity closes pretty quickly. And this is like the 3rd or 4th year the Niners have been dominant.
Right.
And if the Rams are young and up and coming, the Niners have to get it done or that door's going to shut. And then the Rams are going to be the team to contend with in the NFC West.
You have a score for that game, Sal?
Yeah, I'm going to go. That score will be, I say, 28-17 Rams.
Okay. The Rams look good against Seattle. Niners destroyed the Steelers, but I wasn't sold on the Steelers. I mean, Najee Harris I'm not big on him. Kenny Pickett, whatever. George Pickens, whatever. I mean, they did their thing against the Steelers. Rams, I see this game going. I seen Stafford having a big game, and I'm seeing hopefully Van Jefferson can come through. 8 catches, 100 yards, and a touchdown. I see the Rams winning 24-20.
It's going to be a defensive struggle. Puka Nacua is not going to go off, or Tavon is not going to go off because the Niners are like, no, that's not going to happen with us. It's going to be a defensive struggle. Rams win 20-17. Brett Maher, 50-yard field goal
To win the game.
And I think, for us Ram fans, just getting rid of Garoppolo, that's a completely different team without Garoppolo. Garoppolo owned the Rams. I
He'd
could
be
see
back there eating a sandwich
I'd see him warming up in that little grin. I'm like, oh, God, here we go again. But I think Purdy, it's going to be different with Purdy. He's never faced the Ram defense, and I saw Pittsburgh started getting to him.
Yeah, they pressured
in the
him a
third
lot.
and fourth quarter.
I was watching that game, and he was throwing outside the pocket a lot.
Yeah,
he made throws, but
he started looking a little bit different.
Yeah, he did.
Any quarterback would when you start getting
That's
pressure. Gino, you saw that one video, where Gino
Aaron Donald, like, oh my God.
Aaron Donald
Hopefully
coming up.
Purdy's going to be like, oh, Lord.
Yeah, but did you see in that Seattle game? That was one of the more exciting parts about that game. Did you see how happy Aaron Donald was?
Yeah, he
because
was.
He kept saying that the Rams defense was coming along.
Yeah.
He said, I don't want to name names, but believe me, we're ready, and we're a different team. And you saw how happy he was on the sidelines. I mean, he was celebrating with the fans in the stands and stuff. So that was cool.
So let's bring on our guest, Jim, everybody.
Oh yeah, let's see what we got here.
all right, Danny.
Yeah, there he is. Yep, with the legendary Ronnie Lott jersey. I like that.
This man right here, I've known for 30 years, or 29, wait. I think I met him 1994, 1995, the last time the Niners won a Super Bowl, as a matter of fact. I believe.
Oh, is that right?
29 years. Dang, man. When we're 17.
it was the start of a
Now we're
beautiful
older. We got beards. Like,
Beautiful
man.
relationship.
That's the last time I
started?
met him the last
Yeah,
time I
that's
won the
funny.
Super Bowl.
Oh,
What's up? Thanks for joining us. Thanks for coming to
Thanks
this.
for having me.
You know,
Thanks for
you
having
know,
me. It's
you
been a
know,
long time,
you
long
know.
time.
Yeah, awesome. Yeah.
First of all, Jim, what makes you a Niner fan? Why are you a Niner fan?
Well, you know, it's funny because I grew up in Orange County. I actually lived maybe less than a mile from where the Rams used to practice in the off season. And as a kid, I was like, oh man, the Rams are dope. I want to go see them. I would actually sit there and watch them as they drove off out of the practice. I was like, oh man. But come game day, I was like, who is this team from San Francisco owning that ass every weekend?
yeah.
Week after week, you know, year after year. And I was like, I hated the Niners, you know what I mean? And I was like, I can't stand it. But then I was just like watching them, the way they were playing, and Steve Young coming to maturity, and, you know, that whole, you know, with the trying to bring up from the 80s and going into the 90s, just the infatuation with, and it started with how they were beating the Rams. I was really like more of a Rams fan. But the way they were beating them just convinced me, man, I want to be a winner. Especially when Jim Rome was over there calling him Chris Everett, the quarterback. I was like, these guys are a bunch of sissies. I did not want to be affiliated with the Rams. And that's what really sold me, was the way they used to pound the Rams week after week, year after year. You know, and so I was like, man, they chased him out of town. They made him leave. They couldn't be affiliated
They
with
chased
LA.
him all the way to St. Louis.
Yeah.
Hey, you hear all this talk,
And
right?
So,
But
like, that was the reason why. Otherwise, I should have grown up and been a Rams fan. I literally grew up like less than a mile from where they were practicing off season.
Yeah.
There was a little elementary school in Anaheim. I used to go there every time after practice around 3 or 4 o'clock, and they would leave. You just see a lineup of, you know, cars, sometimes limos, all these girls, and I was a young kid, and I was just like, I just want to be like these guys. But on the weekend, when I watch them, I'm like, man, I don't want to be like that guy. They were just getting pounded.
Yeah.
You know, those are the lean years. And so that kind of molded me into being a Niner fan and who I am now, and, you know, just becoming infatuated with the whole history. You know, I saw the transition from Joe Montana, Steve Young coming off the bench, you know, him getting knocked out of the game, coming back and winning the game, you know, those kind of things. That really, like, inspired me. And that was the heyday of the Niners, you know, the late 80s, early 90s, you know. And then, so that's what really inspired me and how I became a Niner fan.
let's not forget about the lean Niner years as well, Sal.
yeah.
Remember those lean Niner years when they had like Jim Druckenmiller? Or
Yeah.
What's that guy's name that got picked before Tom Brady? What was his name?
Oh, my
Oh,
God.
Gino Carmazzi?
Oh, yeah. There we
I
go.
forgot
There we
about
go.
it.
Because as I recall, the Niners didn't make the playoffs for like 10 years, right?
It was
They went
9
through-
years.
No, oh, my
Yeah,
bad.
it
They
was-
had Mike
yes.
Single. How many coaches did they have?
Mike
there?
Nolan. Mike Nolan.
Mike Nolan?
Say it. Mike Nolan.
Jim Tom
Singletary?
Sula.
Who?
Jim Tom Sula.
Okay. Who else did they have?
Tom
Before
Sula.
Jim Harbaugh, they didn't go to playoffs for a long time.
Yeah.
They had
It was
quarterbacks we
rough.
never heard of. Who else did they have?
Rough. I
Jeff
mean,
Garcia. Did he ever make the? Okay, he made the playoffs.
Yeah, I
T.O.
mean, we had our offensive lineman.
But for 9 years, he didn't make the
Interim
playoffs.
coach becomes a head coach. He's an offensive lineman, you know, coach. And how did he get promoted? So yeah, there was a lot of lean years, and I blame that really on the management. I mean, it was so bad in the training camp. They were making guys pay for their Gatorade. You know, this is under the York. This is under the York.
Yeah, because it was crazy when Eddie DeBartolo, when he put the team in his sister's name.
Yes.
When he was indicted
that
with that
felony,
racketeering. Yeah,
right,
and then
right.
she was supposed to give the team back, and she never did.
She never
so
did.
they always had that kind of the kind of dark cloud over the Niners.
And they put the Rams. I mean the fans in a tough position because you really want to support the team.
Sure, yeah.
But not the management. You don't want to support the management and the decisions that they were making. Everything was nickel and diming. They were even charging the players postage to send fans return mail. Like who does that?
Yeah.
So like they weren't about the fans, and we saw that they never did any improvements in Candlestick Park. You know, they were always begging the city for money, and they were making tons of money. And then they transferred finally to Jed York, who kind of took over, and then he kind of built up the team into what it is now. So, but those are lean years, and they were looking for the cheapest coach. I mean, bringing up your offensive line coach to be interim coach is okay. That's fine for 4 or 5 games that we had, but then to hire him again, and he was good. He inspired the team, but he didn't have the knowledge. You could tell on the sidelines he really wasn't making the calls. He was really relying on his offensive and defensive coaches, but really had no input. But so moving on, bringing on Jim Harbaugh. I mean, I was sad to see him go, but we put us in a position where we are now, where we had Shanahan, who's a proven coach in terms of wherever he goes, he wins.
But after Harbaugh, didn't you guys have Tom Sula and Chip Kelly, right?
Oh, we had Chip. Yeah. I forgot about Chip.
You know what I'm saying? Niner fans want to talk about that. And through all this stuff, through all this beating the Rams they're talking about, they still haven't won a Super Bowl in almost 30 years. You beat the Rams. Remember they beat the Rams in the 90s 17 times in a row.
Yeah.
Yeah, okay. And then how many Super Bowls did that equate to? 1. See, the Niners, the best thing the Niners have is, we beat the Rams. We beat the Rams. We come to SoFi South. But hold on.
Yeah, but
do you guys get the attendance? We have the most attendance. Does that help you get a Super Bowl?
Yeah, but see, and that's yeah, exactly. And that's a funny thing because, like, I already know on Sunday Niners are going to take over the stadium.
Yeah, we know
that.
But Niners take over the stadium.
Yes.
Raiders take over the stadium.
Yes.
Cowboys take over the stadium. Pittsburgh's going to take over the stadium. Everybody's going to take over the stadium as long as you don't take over the scoreboard.
The scoreboard. Oh.
That's all I worry about. That's all I worry about. Yeah. In fact, the last time the Rams played the Niners, like when we had the Super Bowl, it was on the Super Bowl trophy was at SoFi on display, and there was 2 Niner fans that came in. Mm-hmm. They lined up. There was only 2 Niner fans. Everybody else was Ram fans. It was for a season ticket event, and 2 Niner fans wearing their jerseys. And then when they get to the trophy, he pulls out this little banner that says 5-time Super Bowl champion. Yeah. And I looked at it. It was kind of funny because I thought, I mean, I love the Niner-Ram rivalry because, I mean, I respect the Niners. Anybody does. Yeah, but when I seen that, I just thought it was kind of funny. But the Rams-Niner rivalry is just intense. And it is. We all, like, both franchises respect each other, but it's just fun to really kind of razz each other. In the end, it's all a game, and I'm always, like, respectful to fans of other teams, but I do love the rivalry of
it's almost like a
Rams.
family,
Yeah, it is. Yeah, we're all NFL fans. Yeah,
we're the dad. You guys are the kids.
Yeah, but you know what?
We call us daddy when we come home.
Yeah, but sometimes when the kids grow up,
I know.
Daddy's getting old.
Yeah.
All right. We got something for Daddy. Yeah.
You still can't be daddy on the court.
But the most impressive thing is. I never even played in the NFL, and I held the Vince Lombardi Trophy than the Niners did.
They brought that trophy here. Hey!
When I was holding up, I go, man, I bet these Niner fans, I bet Debo would love to hold this.
That's how we do it,
Quest
man.
for 6.
Hey, that quest has been going on for a long time.
That quest for 6 been going on for 30 years.
Yeah, that quest for 6.
You can call it Levi South, you call it whatever you want. They don't give out attendance
Another
records.
thing that was funny was during the playoffs, all these Ram fans were saying, don't sell the tickets to 49er fans. For me, I was like, no. I want as many Niner fans as you can stuff into SoFi Stadium because I want every Niner fan to remember that feeling when you lose an NFC championship and you have to take that escalator ride home. Like some of the Niner fans I was talking to them, I go, I don't recognize you. I go, turn around. Oh, okay, now I see your back.
Shot.
You were on the escalator. Now I recognize you.
Hey, you should frame that here. Frame it here, Jim. But hey, big shot for Jim for joining us.
Awesome,
Hey, remember whose house?
Rams house.
Hey, y'all, he's going to be at tailgate. Boo him, okay? Boo him. His name is Jim.
It's our second home. It's our second home.
That's right. Yeah. VHS.
That makes no sense.
That's awesome. That's awesome.
Before I was born.
We have a lot of other trophies. We have a lot of NFC.
Okay, cool. But still, it doesn't matter though. Y'all went to the NFC Championship, the most important game. That don't matter.
Yeah.
And I called out too. Y'all was there. Called my barber, called my best friend, and everything. Did not care. Lost, he lost. I was on the phone. Take the L. And peace. That's cool. 30 years.
Yeah.
Before I was born, y'all won. Before I was born, though. What happened now? And wait. Then after that, you choke in the championship. You choke in the NFC Championship. Just choke artists. That's all I know you guys are. Y'all been choking. Non-stop. It don't matter. Don't matter because okay, look, you have 3-4 quarterbacks that still lose.
But but the quarterback,
That's gonna be our division.
but the quarterback doesn't play defense,
Exactly.
right?
Look, hold on, at the same time, we got the best wide receivers in the league.
Yeah.
We all good. So your quarterback shouldn't matter, right? But at the same time, y'all still take the L loss. Choke. No matter. Choke. Hey, okay, cool. You could have had a 37-year-old Tom Brady at the time going there and still make the ball play, and y'all couldn't do nothing about it. Come on, man.
But you know what the best part was because the Rams didn't make the playoffs, so we're out of the playoffs. But I thought, you know what? here's exactly what I want. I want the Niners to have to go to Philadelphia. Yeah. And when they go to Philly, I told all those Niner fans, now you're going to see how it feels when you guys go to SoFi, the way they treat the Ram fans. Now you're going to get treated like that with Philadelphia. And you know, the funny thing was, when we were at the Rams tailgate, there was like 20 Niner fans, you know, walking down the aisle chanting, beat LA. I'm like, you live in LA. You live in LA.
Niner fans were switching to Dodger fans real quick.
All
That's
right.
cool.
That was a good segment.
Good segment,
Jim,
boys.
I just want to piggyback off that segment. I know Jim for about 25 years, and meet Jim DeMond
Sure.
and our other buddy Mike. Shout out to my boy Mike Garcia. We used to go to San Francisco. We did about 3 or 4 years, and it was always a good time because it was 2 Ram fans and 2 Niners fans.
It was good. We
I
should
just want to
have
say
kept
those are good memories with the boys. But
Definitely.
okay, so Sal, the Rams beat the Niners. Then we got a banged up Joe Burrow who has a calf problem, and what happened to Aaron Rodgers? He had a calf problem, and then led to the Achilles.
Yeah, led to the Achilles.
And then if we beat Cincinnati, we play a rookie in Anthony Richardson.
Woo!
We could be 4-0.
Yeah.
Then who do they have after Indy? Philly. So how do you see this the next couple of weeks playing out?
Well, I think for the Rams, like, to me, it's not a surprise because I know that this is the Rams. This is the way the Rams are going to approach it anyway.
Okay.
So to me, I'm not surprised, but I think that the Rams have a good team. But even at 4-0, I don't think the Rams will get the respect that they deserve.
I definitely agree.
Which
with
is
that.
okay, but the fact that the Rams get 2 divisional games, the first 2 games of the season,
Right.
sets the tone for the NFC West. And but the Rams are you know, their plans are more down the road. And could you imagine, you know, all this valuable playing time that Puka Nacua, Tutu Atwell, and then when you get Cooper Kupp back and you're ready to make that playoff run, you know, that's what I'm excited about.
Okay, so now we're gonna go to week 2 games.
Yeah.
Okay. Oh, you want to
Go ahead, go ahead.
Okay, so we got Raiders versus Bills. Now remember the '90s when the Raiders played the Bills in the AFC title
Yeah,
game.
58-3 or so, yeah.
I mean, shout out to all my Raider fans out there, but I mean that's a
Shout out to your Raider fans out there. Just win some games, baby. Why you keep on Raider fans?
Yeah.
Come on now.
But you know, it's been a good rivalry over the last.
Yeah.
How you see that game playing out? It's at 10 o'clock. You know, Sunday
Well, first of all, where's the game at?
in Buffalo.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, I think Buffalo, they're not going to blow this game. They'll be back. And I think the Raiders are – Garoppolo, I hate to say it, but Garoppolo is an improvement. But one thing about Derek Carr is that he stayed healthy, you know, and that's a big that's huge in being consistent. But we'll see. But I think Buffalo, they're not going to go 0-2.
I'm going to go on the limb and say the Raiders win this game. Somehow,
Really?
some way. I'm going to say the Raiders.
So
win
Raiders
this
will be
game.
2-0?
I'm going to say they're going to win
Wait,
this game.
wait.
Yeah.
The Raiders are going to come to
That's
Buffalo
kind of
Yes.
cute.
after Buffalo loses in overtime to
Yeah.
the Jets and beat them in Buffalo.
I think it's going to be close, but I think the Raiders are going to win.
I guarantee Buffalo wins.
Okay.
Yeah.
Buffalo's going to win like 35-14.
Ooh.
Yeah, I think it's something like that.
Okay, so we got the Seahawks going to Detroit for the. This is going to be Detroit's home opener and Barry Sanders statue unveiling. How do you see this game playing out?
I think it's going to be a blowout.
Woo!
I think the Lions, the best thing, you know, when the Rams traded Jared Goff to the Lions, I said that's going to be the best thing that could ever happen to Goff.
Right.
And one thing that's really impressive, you see his consecutive passes.
Yeah,
without a-
396.
Yeah, without an interception.
Yeah,
I mean,
that's
the
impressive.
turnovers were the problem that he had now, but now he's a solid quarterback. But I think that the Lions are ready to make that move.
Yeah.
You know, they're a lot better, and I think the Rams, I hate to say it, but the Rams, they spooked the Seahawks.
Okay.
I think Geno Smith, he's going to have some problems as the season plays on. He was already kind of talking bad about his own team.
Oh, wow. I didn't know that.
You
Wow.
can't start doing that. Yeah, well, you can't start.
So you got Detroit winning that game?
Yeah, I got Detroit.
I got Detroit winning that game. I'm just going to be 35-21.
Detroit, 28 to like 10.
Okay.
Yeah, I don't think they're going to score many points. Seattle.
Yeah.
Alrighty. Chargers at Tennessee. One of these teams are going to be 0-2, and I think one of these coaches is going to be on a hot seat after this game. How do you see this game? How do you see this game playing out?
Chargers will win this game.
Okay.
I said it'll probably be, I'd say probably 31-17 Chargers.
I got the Chargers winning this game. There's going to be a heavy dose of Derrick Henry, but I got the Chargers winning this game.
Chargers should win the game, but they got the coach named Brandon Staley who's going to mess something up. Tennessee wins 21-17.
Okay.
Wow. Okay.
Chiefs versus Jags. This is an intriguing and interesting game. You got Patrick Mahomes and versus a young Trevor Lawrence. Do you see KC starting the season off 0-2?
No. I think when I was watching that game, I said, you know what? The Chiefs will sign Chris Jones. I said they'll sign him during this week. That's exactly what they did. You know, when that defense wasn't, as stout as it should be. So they brought back, their top defender. So I think that, the Chiefs will win. I said Chiefs will win.
You have a score?
Probably closer. Probably like 24-14. It's not going to be.
I'm going to say Jacksonville wins this game in an upset, 28-24. I see Ridley having a big game, and I see Travis Etienne having a big game.
Yeah, that could happen.
No way the Chiefs start off 0-2. That's not going to happen.
Right, because your uncle's a Chiefs fan, right?
Yes,
Okay.
That's not going to happen. Come on now. Chiefs are going to win. It's going to be a shootout, 35-17 Chiefs.
Okay. And then this is going to be an intriguing game. Jets, with no Aaron Rodgers, play the Cowboys, who destroyed the G-Men on Sunday. How do you see this game playing out?
I think the Cowboys are going to probably. I would say it's probably going to be. Cowboys are going to beat them. I would say probably 35 to maybe 14. I think that Cowboy pass rush is going to be all over him.
Man, they look good on Sunday.
Yeah, that defense is coming alive, and I don't think that the Jets will be able to compete.
I see the Cowboys winning this game. 28-17 Cowboys.
Cowboys 38-14.
Really?
They're going to blow the
So
Jets
let me
out.
ask you this question now. In all seriousness, do you think Justin Timberlake will be on the sidelines?
There's no celebrities going to Jets games.
Well, that's exactly
That's
what
over.
happened.
It's done.
Yeah, and then also,
No more celebrities going to
I
Jets
think the
games.
Jets, when they also said that they could be one of the best defenses ever, compared to themselves to the 85 Bears. You can't talk like that when
Well,
you have 1-0.
The only thing they have in common is both quarterbacks from BYU.
Yeah,
That's
that
true.
could be true. Yeah, but I mean it was sad to see Aaron Rodgers go down, but you should never build your team around a veteran.
Do you think Aaron Rodgers comes back?
I personally don't. I think he's going to come back, but I don't think it'll be successful.
Okay.
I think he'll come back, but it's going to be the same type of hoopla like it was now, and with only more pressure. And as you get older, your body just, you only have so many football games.
Dan
in your
Marino,
body.
he ruptured his Achilles.
Yeah,
I don't know if
he
he
did.
came back. Did
Yeah, he
come
did. He
back?
came back.
Yeah, he tried to come back, but it wasn't the same.
Yeah, exactly.
I mean, if Kobe,
Take a year off.
Kobe is like the standard. Only Kobe can do that.
Yeah.
No one else. And if Kobe was struggled, then imagine just other players. I think that Aaron Rodgers, I knew it wasn't going to work. I didn't have a feeling that it was going to end well. But only getting 4 plays out of Aaron Rodgers, and then who's the one that caused the injury was
Leonard Floyd.
Leonard Floyd.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's crazy. Well,
ex-Ram. Yeah.
that is episode 2. Big shout out to our guest, Jim, the Niners fan. You're going to see him at tailgate. Thank you, Sam Green, for coming through.
He owes me money for the last year.
Is that right?
Videotape that.
Give me my money, you owe me,
get it,
fool.
yeah.
25, boy.
Oh, it's all
Also,
what?
guys, also on YouTube, like, share, and
I gotta give you
subscribe,
$20.
and comment.
You short, man.
Once again, on
Hey,
YouTube,
tell me you always pay.
like, share, and subscribe on the video on YouTube.
Big shout.
Please leave comments on YouTube.
Big shout out to the Brave Bakery Bread. You see the commercials.
Yes, sir.
See you guys at SoFi. Big shout out to our director, Shot by Jay.
Yeah.
Whose house? Rams house. Whose house?
Rams.
Who's House? Rams House. You know who we rollin' with. Rams Buzz Podcast. Hit like, share, and link. Who's House? Rams House. You know who we rollin' with. Rams Buzz Podcast. Home of the champions.